Good morning to everybody and welcome to this webinar organized by Glass International, the topic of which is the sustainability in glass melting. I am Andrea Zucconi and I am the commercial director of company Falorni Tech. I will talk about the Falorni Tech company, of course, and I will give an overview of the Mexican market.
Good morning. I am Francesco Prosperi. I'm a technical director of Falorni Tech, and I will talk about the second part of this webinar relative to the sustainability in glass melting and the conclusion on how we can perform a sustainable choice.
Here we are with the first part of the presentation, we talk about Falorni Tech. Who's Falorni Tech? Who is an integrator of melting and conditioning technologies for the glass industry. In particular, we deliver solutions like engineering for furnaces and conditioning systems, all the equipment related, and the technical services. We started to work in 1958 in the region of Empoli, near Florence, a region rich of tradition in glass making. In the next years, we have developed capability and knowledge to deliver also furnaces of big capacity up to complete plants as we do today. We can deliver furnaces for all kinds of glass and furnaces of any kind, like regenerative, recuperative, oxy-fired. Here we have some example of furnaces, 300 tons per day for container, to 70 tons per day for tubular, and oxy-fuel. Besides this, we offer the FlexCond, the flexible glass conditioning solution of Falorni Tech for the NMPB production and other kinds, which features extremely high performances in terms of thermal homogeneity index and flexibility in operation. Finally, we have the complete range of equipment for the furnace and conditioning, such as the combustion systems with the process automation, recuperators, waste gas management systems, batch chargers and glass levers, bubbling and boosters, systems or cooling systems. Talking about Mexico and the glass industry of Mexico, we have to say that this is a very important market for Italian companies. We have a strong presence in the country, which has experienced a very impressive growth in the recent years, thanks to several environmental conditions, like the proximity with the US market, or the success of the Mexican beer, spirits and beverages in the global market. Besides this, Mexico is still a country with interesting parameters for the production of glass, such as the manpower or the electric and energy cost, which make the presence of global groups like Modelo, Owens Illinois or Saverglass more and more present. In the country, there are more than 60 glass plants in operation and beyond 15,000 tons per day of production every day, with a constant rate of increase per annum of capacity of melting. The glass bottle and container market grow with a constant rate and is considered in the medium, say, range compared with other regions of the globe. As you see here, the trend of the industry revenue in glass manufacturing has experienced a positive trend since the 2012 up to 2000 and is expected to grow also up to the 2024. Italy and Mexico have a strong relationship in the market, in the business. Mexico is the 29th market for Italian export and is the 4th target market for the Italian export in the Americas. I give now the speech to Mr. Francesco Prosperi, who will talk about the sustainability in glass melting.
No. Thank you, Andrea, for the speech. So this is the second part. I'm Francesco. I will talk about the sustainability in the glass melting. What we refer to talking about sustainability? We know that declination of sustainability is related and involving different stakeholders. So there are legislators about local requirements, public opinion for the social sensibility, there are private company and customer for customer expectation, and last but not less important, the glass company and shareholder for the company necessities. If you go through about legal requirements, it's very important that these are related to the safety of the product and now more and more important, the environmental issues. And on this element, the fairness has a big impact, as we know. And now the European norms, like BAT, make the step for the upgrade and evolution on of pollution containment, and will be the step and will be the reference for the whole world. That the social sensibility as well is very important, and in this case, we define like local boundaries, so which is a sensibility linked to the people staying nearby a glass plant, and the more diffuse the general sensibility linked to the topic of the glass. For example, it's very important is nowadays the feeling about the glass container versus plastic container. Customer expectation, clearly glass company work to satisfy customer expectation. So these are both economical, both technical, think about quality and capacity of supply, and also marketing, which are related to the previously identified social sensibility. And then they are very important, and this is the topic on which we'll concentrate, are the company necessity. Mostly are the three, that is economical, the flexibility in capacity in production, and technical capability. So when we talk about sustainable furnace, we have in our mind as a reference a best furnace. These are not one against each other, but sustainable furnace are related to different elements which go from economics in terms of investment, capex, and operational cost, opex, like make the expectation, technical expectation, so with the production necessity, the flexibility already talked about before, to meet the range of production and rate of change, and also the legal element in environmental and health and safety. Surely any decision made for designing and identifying a melting apparatus must be made in the frame of a possible future scenarios. Do not jeopardize the possibility of a future existing of the system. So, like all human activities, there is not an absolute choice, but always a choice which is linked by a concept of sustainability, which is a relative concept. And which are the key drivers for the sustainability? So we focus now on the company key drivers mainly, which typically are linked to the economics from the business. So you need a good turnover, you need a payback, you need a good margin. You need also a strong reliability for the business continuity, meaning that you have no issues coming from quality issues, interaction of business due to technical problem, or due to, for example, legal problem. So the requirements, legal requirements, which is not respected. So this is a very important topic. And
Also, the level of comfort for operation is very important because make the possibility to manage the system in a very good way. But which are the main elements called key drivers which are impacting on the sustainable? The technology choices surely are impacting strongly on this. And so come up now the question, engineering technology upgrades is sustainable or is not sustainable, but is too expensive? We have to consider that it's not like that, because there is a baseline of technology below which the presence of hidden costs issues, which can be both present and future, can jeopardize the sustainability of the system. So which can impact on economics, on reliability, and on the other things. So what is the baseline of technology? What intend for? Normally, when you think about the baseline of technology, we have to think about a correct dimensioning design, a good engineering, that means good material choices and field-proof solutions, and last, but very important, the automation and process control. How do they impact these things? You have to think that you have a backfall if you don't use properly this part. So for example, in the design where you make the choice of the dimensioning and of the technology, if you make a dimension which is too big compared to the necessity, you just increase your investment and capital costs. If it's too small, you're just going to jeopardize glass quality and also production efficiency. If you make mistake, is not correct, you can have backfall, negative backfall on glass quality and on furnace life. The same, the engineering, which is a development of the design, can lead to impact on operational costs, on furnace life, and glass quality. So again, can drive to negative impacts on the element we are interested in sustainability. The automation, we said, is very important. And we are talking about it because it's not new. This is something which is always considered. The lack of poor system with automation again leads to a big impact on operational cost in terms of energy consumption and maintenance, can lead to problems on glass quality, stability, and production efficiency. It can also impact on the furnace life in negative way because of damages. So just to make some example, I just to show you some pictures for a reference basic furnace with the 80 tons per day nominal, so it's a medium, small, medium size of the furnace, by making compare what's happening using a choice of baseline technology and if you have a not correct dimensioning of the system. For you can see here, for example, for imports, the baseline is considered a 45 square meter import, which is not stress furnace, but is a comfortable furnace. And we compare with an overdimension system, that is an import 70 square meter, we can see how is the impact of a delta investment. It's about more than 900,000 euro, and it is about 15% more, with an increase of operational cost, but with no absolute impact or benefit in terms of productivity and lifeline. At the same time, if you go on the opposite side, we go on a dimensional system that is an import 30 square meter. Okay, the investment will be lower, the operational cost will be lower, but the impact on productivity and lifeline, so the lifetime of the furnace, are strongly affected, so that this won't be sustainable. Who can manage a big loss of 13% of production? The same, if you think about another technology, unit melter, we have the same impacts. So overdimensional systems, so very big, will lead to a higher increase in investment and operational cost, but with no positive impact on productivity and lifetime. On the other hand, if we make an underdimensioned system, we have lower investment operational costs, but with a high impact on loss of productivity and on the lifetime of the furnace, which make also as well not sustainable. If you make a compare, a cross reference between different technologies, and this is very interesting, important, we can see that starting from the most diffused technology, which is the one of regenerative furnaces, NPORT, and we go through recuperative to oxygas, we can see, thinking also about sustainable, which is the, I would say, the furnace, which is conditioned to meet the expectation, we can see that there are very different values, meaning that there is a different value in investment value on the different furnaces and a difference in the operational cost. Clearly, the choice will depend on specific necessity requirement. So if to create or believe more important the level of capex or the lifetime of the furnace and the payback on investment. So we see that also where we have a higher investment, but the operational costs are lower. And so there is a payback of the system, which is different for the different arrangements. Again, the automation is very important because also if you make a good furnace, well designed with a good structure and so on, the automation have a very strong impact. And you can see here, in two cases, we use the same two baseline for NPORT furnace and over-dimensional furnace, where we identify what's going to happen if you don't use a minimum level of automation required to control the most important process of the furnace. We see that faced to a relatively small investment, which can be roughly about 3% of the total investment, the operational cost can increase, but mostly impact is on the productivity loss because of unstable situation of the process with significant loss of the production, which can be over 5–6%, and also an impact on lifeline and maintenance costs. So again, the not execution or investment in automation can lead to big impacts, not immediate, but in the future, and at the end, showing this hidden cost you don't see at the beginning on productivity on the lifeline. Again, the baseline furnace can guarantee in the case of NPORT furnace a lifetime of 8 years. This is a reference time. If you go down with a low level of the technology, we have also a short time intervention of maintenance, and we also have a shorter lifetime with a question mark where we'll be, but for surely shorter than a normal lifetime of a sustainable furnace. So how to perform a sustainable choice? There are very simple 3 steps: analysis of background, real necessities, the identification of baseline of technology, so identify which kinds of technology must be used fitted to that situation, and identifying the different proposal, making a decision of different possibilities. So to choose the best sustainable furnace. So what do you think, that engineering technology upgrades is expensive and not sustainable? It's just like a parallel normally we can use, and we talk about it. It's just like education. You can feel it costly at the beginning, but you can try to do without it, and you can feel what is going to happen.
Okay, thank you very much. So send my best regards to everyone, and hope you see you soon. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much from my side also. I invite you to contact with us in case of any further information you may need. You can visit our website www.falornitech.com or contact us through the email that you see here in the picture. Otherwise, you can follow us on LinkedIn or any other mean you want. Thank you very much and enjoy.